Like that is pretty great to me. I know what this item does, but it's really good. I don't know what this does, and it might be really good. Let's find out. Charge my seed. I don't like charge item. Whoa! There we go. Oh crap, the ghost missed me. That's pretty cool. The problem is there's a humongous cooldown time on the charge after you're done, after you charge it. There's like at least like 4 or 5 seconds before you can fire off another volley. Well, that guy has his eyes closed. It's just like, meh, can't charge. Oh, it's not even when his eyes are closed. It's just like when he, like you have to wait for him to flicker, then he can do it. Let's hit him with a full attack. That was actually totally useless. There we go. There we go. But yeah, you need to. Trolling is about like just making like leading Wander in death pits is, you know, hella fun. But that's like level 2 trolling, and then like just spamming the N-word over and over again and like ban evading. That's like just being a dumbass. Like there's nothing. You're not contributing anything positive to the world of trolling with that sort of thing. But no, the best trolls in life are the ones where like you play into somebody's worldview so much that they don't like understand that like you're actually just like making fun of them. So like a couple of examples of me trolling people that I can think of off the top of my head that I consider to be high art level trolling. Number one that I can think of is a friend of mine, super duper conservative, was telling me one day that he thinks that having an open mind is considered a sign of weakness. I don't know why it's a conservative thing. It actually has no bearing whatsoever, and that just made me sound politically biased. But it's a reasonably valid thing to like bring up. I don't know. We can disregard that. Yeah. Anyway, so he tells me that like having an open mind is considered a sign of intellectual weakness because you're allowing, like, he said it in this way, like, why would you listen to other viewpoints if you already know that you're right about everything? So I was stunned that anyone could ever actually say that sentence, like, seriously, and then say like other people are the ones who are like who are intellectually dishonest. That blew my mind. So what did I do? I thought to myself, I can either just like get like really pissed off and like just be like, what the fuck are you even talking about? Or I can just troll the shit out of him. So the rest of the evening, for the rest of our discussion, all I did was quote Warhammer at him, which is a game about being intolerant to people. So like, I thought that was really, really funny because he did not catch on whatsoever. So I was saying things like an open mind is like a fortress with its bars left unopened, or with its gate opened and its bars not drawn or whatever, which is totally just straight from a Warhammer game. And he was like, right? Like, why would you? Like, he totally agreed with this sentiment. And granted, I'm not going to be the type of person who says like you know, like quotes Hitler at people in debates and goes like, haha, you agreed with Hitler. Because, like, you know, even he said stuff that any person would find agreeable, because he would say things like, I believe that children are wonderful. And it was like stuff like that, which is what got him elected in the first place. That and his flagrant appealing to the growing nationalist right-wing party during the Weimar Republic. That's neither here nor there. The point is, that all you gotta do is you just have to like play right into their viewpoints, and then they just don't even understand that you're just like wrecking their shit, basically. And then people like Ladybird will be listening in the conversation. She'll know exactly what I'm talking about. She'll like pick up on the dog whistle that I'm throwing out there, and she'll just like laugh her ass off the whole time. I'm gonna spoke in memes after he's complaining about the guy that only spoke in memes. Oh yeah, that was a fantastic troll. I barely remembered like what I said, but I remember being very proud of myself after I started doing that, and Wander didn't get it. Oh man, those are the best trolls. Those are the best trolls. Oh, I see. So this guy, like the guy in the back, only shoots if I stop moving. Then he like starts shooting at me. So that's how he's like manipulated by your position. Huh. Anyway, it's worth just saying right here and now that I absolutely hate this charge-up weapon. I think it sucks terribly. Like, the charge on it is really, really long. You're like weak, you have to tap the bar afterwards. Just fuck this gun. Alright, I'm glad I lost that run. I don't even give a crap. But yeah, that was an amazing troll on Wander there. Like, other times I've trolled people. There was this one time a friend of mine was saying, like, he was doing really, really badly in this one class, and so I figure, you know, whatever. He was a good friend of mine, but he was doing really, really bad in this like class that we were taking, and we had a quiz at the end of the week, and he was just saying like I should just go in and like not take the test or whatever, just like, and then afterwards, and just like beg for forgiveness later or something, or it's just like he said like I'm just gonna go in and do like a really bad job on the quiz intentionally instead of like studying. And I was like, first off, I didn't understand like why anybody would think that was a good idea in the first place. So when somebody does that, I immediately switch over to troll mode. When somebody does something that just baffles and confuses me, I'm just like, why the fuck would you ever do that? That's when I start trolling them. Okay, so this is where my HP being down gives me a big damage boost. Cool. So anyway, I just like immediately start saying like, here's what you should do. You should go to the test immediately, like when because these were one-on-one quizzes with the teacher, and it makes sense in this because of the subject that we were doing. So if you never heard anything like that, it was totally normal to do it that way. Anyway, so it's just like, here's what you should do. You should go into the teacher, and you should just say like, look, teacher, I don't like you, and you don't like me. Let's just establish that right now, and like we'll just see what we can do from here. And then he was like, yeah, I'm gonna totally do that. And then I was like, he's actually going to do this, isn't he? So then I say like, yeah, just don't even study either, and just like tell her like straight up like, just be like, hey, I didn't study at all for the test either. Like then she'll just like you know, she'll appreciate your honesty, and then you'll like, at least you'll be done with the quiz faster. And he was like, yeah, like that sounds like a really great idea. I'm totally gonna do that. And Lady Bird was sitting in this conversation the whole time too, and she was just like, are you serious right now? Because he was eating this up. And so he actually like did this, as far as I can remember. And surprisingly, the teacher wasn't very amused, and he got like I think the test was graded out of 40 points, and he got like a 13. And I mean, granted, I didn't really do a whole lot better because I didn't take that class seriously. So I probably got like a 28 or something, which, I mean, compared to a 13 is actually tremendously better, but still could have been a lot better. Point is, I really should have taken that class more seriously. Whatever. Anyway, I'm in some problematic territory with regards to fighting these guys, so let's just kind of chill out and clear out the arena a little bit. Be more controlled, enjoy a little bit of the more accuracy shooter side of things. That was an interesting class. I have some stories of deep personal failures with regards to that class, so I'm not going to share those. Instead, I'm going to share the stories about other people failing, because fuck them. Yeah, that was a great thing to witness. It was a great thing to do. It was really, really funny. God damn, was that funny. You have a friend who wrote down 14 for every question on a quiz. Was it even a, like, math quiz? I do not know. There was another time... Oh, I'm gonna take this item because I like it a lot better. It looks like a dildo. Anyway. So... at least I have rapid fire now. My shots probably do way less damage, but damn are they faster. Damn are they faster. There was another quiz. Here's one that I think is kind of an amusing, deep personal failure that I had in a class. So, this was when I was an education major, and this was before I changed my major, so I was really pretty much checked out from all my classes, and I was doing really badly in a lot of them. And so, we had to do this one class where we had to teach... What the hell? Oh, I reached the point where I got my charge shot. Fucking thanks, game. I really like this thing. I'm glad it's back now. At least my damage is good, but like, what's the point of a charge shot if I have a rapid fire? Whatever. Anyway, so I was doing really bad in the class, and I didn't know the material at all, and the guy who taught it was a real conceited jackass, and frankly, he wore like really tight pants. He sat on a stool in front of the class, so he had like, he basically like just like showed everyone his cock-a-doodle-doo, and the Three Stooges, I mean the Two Stooges to go with it. So that was pretty damn distracting, to be totally honest, because it was like I can't pay attention when it's just like every day. It's just like right fucking there. Anyway, not the point. The point is, we on the midterm, we had to come up with the answer for like, the student is making squeaking noises on his oboe. What should he do to like improve his oboe? Or, like, what's the problem with his playing technique or something? And we were supposed to identify things like he needs to like tighten his embouchure around like the whatever. People who know music understand what that is. Basically, he needed to like purse his lips a little bit harder to like get them to buzz better. Anyway, so stuff like, we had to list like 12 things, which was absurd because he covered 14 of them. We could miss 2. He was a jackass. Anyway, he was a bad teacher. Anyway, so he, so on this question, I couldn't remember like more than like 10. So I just wrote down, student is secretly a mouse for that question. And I thought to myself like, hey, maybe I'll at least get like a LOL or something written to the side. Nope, got a 0 on that question. He was so mad at my response that he just took away all my right credits. What a dick. So anyway, I changed majors after that. If I actually cared about the class, then I probably would have complained, but I didn't, because I knew by that point that I was going to not give a shit anymore. And that was probably one of the best decisions I ever made, because it pretty much changed my life dramatically. But me in my education times was not a happy time to be me. It's probably not a happy time to be anybody else, because it was like during the Great Depression, not the Great Depression, the Great what's it called? The housing crisis. Yeah, so pretty much everything sucked across the board. But you know what really sucked? Aside from the people losing their homes or whatever, it was the fact that I was an education major. Like, just take out some real pity on there. Just remember, like, man, my 2007 was a terrible year. I lost my house. I got fired, and I entered a stint of unemployment that lasted like 9 months. But at least I wasn't Bird getting a degree in education and hating everything about it at every single step. It was like, alright, I guess I'm not talking about this game anymore for today, because whatever, I'm feeling nice and chilled out. Also, I forgot I can play this game with one hand, so let's like just enter maximum chill out mode here. Anyway, like I can play this game with just the mouse, and you just move up and down with the mouse and like press to fire. Super convenient. So I'm gonna have to eat some damage to get my health back. It's kind of a weird situation to be in. Alright, so let's just talk about school more, since I'm talking about school. What the fuck ever. This is a new item. Hang on, we'll see what this is. A tiny treat bird. Oh, it makes me smaller. That's actually a really good item. I like this item. So anyway, I guess I'm gonna just talk about school, because why the hell not? So, there's like, music school is really, really strange. There's nothing quite like it, which probably doesn't surprise anybody here. But the specifics of that might like be pretty entertaining. So basically, like, music school is super duper segregated based on like what instrument you play. And that makes sense, because it's like, well, you know, all the clarinetists are gonna like study with the same like couple of clarinet teachers. They're all gonna like hang out and they're gonna talk about clarinet with other clarinetists. It's fine. I'm cool with that. Like, whatever. Oh, interesting. So I don't have to charge attack anymore. Oh, that's really great. Okay, good. Because fuck the charge attack. So, that, like, you know, that is what it is, and it makes a lot of sense. But the problem is that segregation starts to create, like, really, really big problems. So, like, Basically, like, in the music school, the student body is going to be really, really divided. Like, very... Oh. I thought that the Healy thing would get to me in time. Never mind. So the music schools end up being, like, super duper divided. That's a good item. I'm glad that item dropped. And so, education people do not get along well with performance people, like, at all. So they tend to look down at the performance people as, like, you know, they're like they're doing like the less noble thing by going into actually performing the music as opposed to preserving the music by teaching it in public schools. Pretty much the attitude that I got, and it sucks because it made a lot of people total dickbags. And then the performance people would then counter and be like, well, fine, you guys are jerks. So then the performance people didn't get along with the music people or the music education people, because the performance people were just like, you know, just fuck those guys. They're just like mean to us for like no reason. Yeah, the education majors, no kidding. Anyway, so that's a big reason, and I was planning on doing both performance and education, which meant that the education people hated me. The performance people thought it was cool. They didn't really care that much. They were like, yeah, cool, you're just like who you are or whatever. But the education people basically thought that I was like a sellout and I was doing everything for the wrong reasons. And then they were like, they just like never like got the stick out of their asses, which made getting an education degree pretty damn miserable. It's just awful to like be in a situation where it's like I hate all of my classmates, and every single class I go into I get to deal with people that hate me and that I hate back. Pretty much turned me off of education immediately, amongst a bunch of other things. It just really wasn't a good fit, but whatever, that's all behind me now. And anyway, so that's one of the many ways that the music school's body is segregated. The other way is that vocalists and just general instrumentalists usually have like a very strong divide. So like, and not really in a very good way, might I say. So usually like the track for vocalists as opposed to like instrumentalists is very, very different. So vocalists are obviously going to have to study a whole bunch of different foreign languages and things like that. And the instrumentalists, I don't actually know what they do. I guess they probably take more like, I don't know what they do to like that's different from the vocalists, but I know that as a vocal major it was like I have to take a year of Italian, a year of French, and a year of German as a minimum. And so like that kind of just drives the point that like we are like separated from each other. And then like to that end, like basically a lot of like instrumental performance people then go on to say like, well, you know, vocalists aren't like musicians then, like they're just vocalists, they're singers, which doesn't make them like a real musician, which is like total bullshit, because like what we do is like really fucking hard. And so and we have to be just as musical, and so whatever. It was pretty annoying to deal with that. And it was really, really common too. Like it's extremely easy to find instrumentalists who think that vocalists basically are just like, they're not musicians, they don't like have to work hard or anything like that. And so like a lot of vocalists basically just have, or a lot of instrumentalists basically have this idea in their heads that like vocalists basically just like stand on the stage, open their mouths, and beautiful music just comes out naturally and we don't have to work, which is not true whatsoever. Singing is incredibly fucking hard, and every time any sort of instrumentalist like has to take any voice lessons, they're immediately just like, whoa, I had a totally like wrong idea of like what you guys went through. And we're like, right? So that pretty much sums up a lot of the inner troubles of music schools. Random little topic to get onto, but hey, I figure might as well talk about it. Unique enough perspective. You're not going to hear it from most other LPers, so might as well talk about it here.